Hi, guys. You've defended incredibly well to this point. This game's different in that you have to score to win. You know, assume that means you have to take some risks defensively. How does that change the calculation for you guys? What sort of game do you expect it to be in that regard?
Well, I think from the start, I don't think we're going to be having to take those risks right away. We have had moments of transition in this tournament. We've had promising attacks as we're going forward. I don't expect any of that to change with this game plan. Sure, if it's getting later and we're getting down to last 10, 15 minutes, I'm sure things will change. But we're coming out aggressive, and we're going to make sure that we try and get on the front foot to get some chances.
We'll go to McKelly in the back.
Thank you. Hi, team. This is for you. So you didn't get the call up in September, right? And Greg gets asked why, and he said, well, he doesn't play a high line. What changed and on the field for you to convince him that you could be here? Thank you.
You might have to ask him that question. Listen, we play a high line at Fulham. Other than the when you're having to sit back and soak up pressure against the teams like Man City and the big teams in that sense. I just continue to play the same way that I know how to play and that I've always done. So nothing in terms of my situation changed. Obviously, there were a few injuries that potentially helped my case, but in terms of my play and what I am and who I am, nothing changed, and I didn't change my way of going about things or my mentality of the way I went about it.
Jeff Carlisle.
This question is for both of you. What kinds of problems does Iran pose that maybe England and Wales didn't? Are they more dynamic kind of in transition? I mean, what do you see out of them?
Yeah, I think they're similar to Wales in the first half anyway, and that they you watch them against England and they sat back a little bit more and tried to hit on the on the transition moments and the counter attack. Obviously, a very a couple very good players up front in Taremi with his finishing. So he's one to be aware of. But again, this game is going to be about us and about what we need to do and what we have to do to advance and to win. So being aware of their compact shape and their counterattacking is going to be key. And if we can we do that and finish our opportunities, then we're going to be all right.
To your left, Henry Bushnell.
Yeah, for both you guys, this is a non-soccer question, but there's a controversy brewing right now where the Federation made some social media posts that altered the Iranian flag, and it's caused a bit of a storm. We were told that you guys weren't consulted about that at all. Is that true? And were you aware of it before I just brought it up now?
That's correct. We didn't know about it till now.
We'll go to Lakin in the middle here. And we'll make it simple. We'll go Lakin, Martin, Nancy.
This is for both of you. Could please answer. How unique is an elimination game in a World Cup? It's not like the NBA Finals where if you lose Game 7, you can try again next year. There's no guarantee that you guys will be back in 4 years. So just your thoughts on just the uniqueness of the situation that you guys are in.
Yeah, I think, our goal is, obviously to win the World Cup. And in order to do that, we have to get to the knockout stages. For us, our knockout game comes one game earlier. And you look around at a lot of different teams and groups, and they're all going into their third game, most of them with having to get a result. And whether that's a tie or a win, there's going to be pressure, there's going to be a necessity. And for us, that's a win, and we have no problem with that, starting our knockout a little bit earlier.
I think to kind of echo what Walker's saying is that it is a unique situation. It adds a little bit of pressure, but for us, every single game is pressure, and so we have to go out and just embrace the moment and enjoy it, live it, and not worry about what comes after, whether it's good, bad, and different. We have to go out and play the way we're capable of playing, finish our chances, and enjoy the fact that it is a knockout stage game in one round early.
Martin.
Hey guys, for either or both. You guys have played in CONCACAF where there are difficult road games up against teams that play good football but have a few tricks up their sleeve as well. Iran has obviously done very well so far, but they know how to play the game in terms of gamesmanship and stuff like that. How do you prepare yourselves for that, and how do you combat it?
I don't think you do anything different than what you have done. I think what you just said is exactly right. You come up against gamesmanship and different styles in CONCACAF all the time, and so you look at every single team in the World Cup. They all have a different kind of style, different ways of gamesmanship, and that's the nature of this sport. That's the nature of our game, and it's not something that you can overly prepare for, but it's an understanding that it's going to happen, and you just have to keep your cool and not let it bother you.
Nancy.
This is a follow-up to Henry's question. Is there a concern that these posts, because there has been some controversy, could pose a distraction? And I'm wondering, how do you feel about the message which was intended as a show of support for women in Iran who are fighting for human rights?
Yeah, I think, we're huge supporters of women's rights. And I know the post, like I mentioned, we didn't know anything about the post, but we are supporters of women's rights. We always have been. We're, focused a lot on Tuesday from the sporting side as well, So you mentioned as a distraction. I think this is such a focus group on the task at hand, but at the same time, we empathize and we are firm believers in women's rights and support them.
Ron. We'll go next over to Ron.
Hi, for both of you, going back to the 1998 game, the U.S. team pretty much treated it just like on the field, a soccer game, and the Iranian team treated it as a national cause against the great Satan. Looking back, some of the players said maybe the U.S. wasn't up enough on the emotional level of Iran because of that. How do you guard against that? Is that a factor you have to consider?
I think the emotional side of having to win to get into the next round is enough to be up for it. I don't think we have to worry about anything else in terms of what the game means. The game means, and what is on the line is advancing into the knockout stages. And if that's not enough to get our guys up, then I think we have issues. But I don't think that's going to be a problem in getting up and understanding what this game means to the team.
Paul Tenorio, back to your right.
Hey guys, I'll direct this at Walker. Obviously, to win, you guys need to score goals. The chances have been there. The goals haven't come as much. I know you guys are both two center backs, but Walker, you came pretty close to getting on the end of a header at the far post on a free kick. What can you guys do? What's the discussion right now about how to convert some of these chances into goals? And do you look at set pieces as an area that maybe can make the difference in this game?
We certainly have created some chances. There have been a lot of moments in transition, however, where we can be a little bit sharper. We can pick out that final pass and hopefully create more. But you're right, set pieces is a huge area for this team. It's a huge strength for this team. And so, having to go back and look at the plays, watch all of them, see what we can do differently, see what areas we can hit, what runs we can make. Is everyone doing their job? It's going to come down to little things on set pieces. And so we definitely need to work on those. And make sure that can be a real strength of ours, because I think we have the personnel to score goals off of set pieces.
Alex in the back.
Hi guys, so for either of you, could you give me your reaction to seeing the players in their first match not singing the national anthem? And then Michael, maybe could you answer some of the questions that we've heard about the intent of the social media posts, the stance from the U.S. Soccer Federation?
I'll say in terms of the national anthem for the first game, it was actually kind of it seemed like a delay in the stadium, and it was actually kind of hard because we were starting to sing and hearing each other's voices, and it was completely off from what was being heard in the stadium. Okay. Yeah, we can't speak for them and their message. We know that they're all emotional. They're going through things right now. They're human, and again, we empathize with that human emotion. So we completely feel for them.
Yeah, the intent of the post was to show support for women's rights. It was meant to be a moment. We made the post at the time. All of the other representations of the flag remain consistent and will continue to. We'll go to, sorry, right straight in the middle there. We're making our way around. We're making our way around the room. Go ahead in the back there.
Guys, to that point, we've seen several teams taking a stand on the field for human rights. Does Team USA have a plan to do the same?
Listen, at this moment, like we said, we support women's rights. We always have, we always will. That message will remain consistent. And what we're doing as a team is supporting that while also trying to prepare for the biggest game that this squad has had to date. And so that is, in this moment, our focus. Supporting them, supporting the women's rights, and also preparing for what is, a crucial game for our group.
So I know you've just been saying you're focused on the game. Do you have a message for the Iranian people?
Yeah, I think it's kind of what we've been saying. We empathize 100%, and we do support women's rights, and we know that it's a lot of difficulties. A lot of heartbreak, and a very disturbing time, and we're empathizing with them and supporting them, and that's kind of what we're doing. And again, like Tim said, we are focused so much on Tuesday, but that doesn't mean that we aren't in support or empathizing.
Charlie, to your right.
Both the circumstances around this match and this press conference seem pretty unique, rare. I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with anything this in your career, and what are the conversations that are happening between you and your teammates, and between you and the coaching staff about this sort of pressure cooker that you guys find yourselves in?
I think you answered your own question. It is unique. It is something different. But at the same time, we're all human. We understand that there are things going on that are out of our control, and so that's where we find ourselves. Again, we understand and empathize with the Iranian people, and at the end of the day, we are still having to focus on what is our job. What we've been, preparing to do, what we've been focused on for many, many years. And so it's one of those things that we know that, this game isn't played in a bubble. There are a lot of things that happen around the world, and, people want our opinions, but our opinion is that we want to play the game, and the game is for everyone, and that's what we're focused on.